Hey everybody, it's the Golden Goose coming back with another video just to share some thoughts and to educate the rest of the community, of course. That's the most important. You know, I with all these readings and everything and everybody, you know, basically doing their work, if that's what you want to call it, but I laugh every day because it's like you guys are so adamant on being ascended, and you're so like you want to be the Empress energy, the Emperor energy. You want to have all these gifts, which is all the gifts that I have, pretty much. You basically want to be me. So you take the instructions that are given to me and you execute them, thinking that it's you. But it's not you, it's me. I'm the one that has the mission to save the world. You guys are just here to assist me. And I was just finding it very funny that, God wanted me to fast, so he can basically upgrade my gifts. And you got these people in the community all, hey, we're gonna all fast together. We're all gonna do this together. And it's just like, it's like, bro, it's not for you. It's for me. And let me tell you something. I hate fasting. I love eating. All right? And to everybody's surprise, I don't know what kind of, me being the chosen one, the only one. You guys probably think that I have, such a loving relationship with God and my ancestors. I argue more with God and my ancestors than I actually have loving conversations. Yes, that's correct. I get God mad. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Well, that just happens when you're the child of God. That just happens. You can piss him off. All right? Now, when it came down to the fasting, you got these people online doing 7 days. Really? You got a lot of time on your hands. I did it for 12 hours. Because I'm the type that I say, all right, God, look, I'm going to give you 12 hours. And if I get another message from you saying that that's not enough, I'll do more. And guess what? The 12 hours was enough. Now look, I don't know if these people even lasted the 7 days, because I'll be honest with you, that's a lot. But let me tell you something. At one point in my life, I did 2 months of fasting because I had no choice. You're speaking to somebody who's always had ailments and problems. And basically, nobody wanted to help me with them. Just like in the stories and the prophecies, my whole family basically threw me out. You know how that goes. I'm not going to get into that because everybody always believes, oh, it's me. I'm the black sheep of the family. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. There's a gazillion black sheeps out here, but God only chose one that was worthy. The rest of you are just black sheep still. That's it. That's the reality of the situation. All right? So, anyway, now back to the chosen one. You got everybody here very knowledgeable. They're knowledgeable about the Bible. They're knowledgeable about prophecies. They're knowledgeable about history. They're so knowledgeable, right? Well, the one that God chose, guess what? I didn't read the Bible. I didn't look into prophecies. I didn't look into stone tablets. I didn't, you know, I didn't do any of those things. Basically what I'm trying to say is that I'm a person that literally followed all of the morals of the Bible without even reading that shit. So I lived my life basically the way that God wants us to live our lives. I lived that life without reading the Bible, without being educated on it. Do you understand? So when you people sit there and read the Bible and you know all these things and you read it from top to bottom and you finished it and you can speak all these verses by memory, you're not doing anything. Because the one thing that you're supposed to do, you're not doing. Now, look at this. When I was chosen and all these gifts came out and I'm seeing demons and demons are running away from me and they're dying and I'm delivering people without even realize that I'm delivering them until I see the demon run away from me. And once all of those things started happening, I started to question. I said, what the hell is going on? You know, now, when I started coming across all these readings and all these prophetic word people and all these different things like that, guess what was happening to me? You guys started educating me. You guys started talking about everything that's happening to me. And that's when I was like, hold on a minute here. You know, something's... I basically started getting educated and I started figuring out why it was happening, you know, who did it. I started figuring out everything. But the point of me telling you this is, with all these people that want to be chosen, they want to be ascended, they want to, you know, have all these things going on. You're not doing the one thing that is going to take you there. And this by having a good heart. Now, if you tell yourself, oh, I got a good heart, you know, I do good things every day, and blah, blah, blah. Well, you're obviously not. Now, the story of the black sheep is not about being a black sheep. It's about being a black sheep and going through so many trials, so many things, so many letdowns, so many disappointments, so many everything, on top of being sickly, you know, just everything crumbles, the tower. You can say that I was pretty much raised inside of the tower. But the whole time that I was there, getting cheated on by women, losing jobs, being thrown away from my family, being talked down, and it keeps going and going and going. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. I can talk your ear off all day about things that I went through. But it's not about the things that I went through. It's about the character that I had when I was going through those things. It's about how my heart responded when I went through those difficult trials. That's what it's about. It's about your heart. And if you don't have a good heart, God is not going to want to hang out with you. All right? It's about how you treat people, how you treat that bum that walks into the store. And then you look at the clerk, and the clerk is looking at the bum like he's upset. Like, no, I don't want you here. It's about that feeling right there. It's about that feeling right there. You don't become people. You become the anomaly. You become the one who's different. We're all humans. We all have lives. But we're all in purgatory. We're all in hell. But that doesn't mean that you have to be a demon in hell. That doesn't mean that. You could be the one that says, I'm not going to let the world change the love that I have in my heart, the love that God placed in my heart. I won't let nothing change that, because God is the most important thing. So, if you stand on those morals, it doesn't matter what else you do besides that. It doesn't matter. I sin all the time. I know when I'm about to sin, and then I still do it. But guess what? God will just look the other way. Why? Because I'm worth it. Because I ascended. Because I proved myself over and over and over and over and over again without even knowing if I was going to get a good outcome or not. Do you understand? I'm a little over 40 years old. And it took that long for me to become ascended. Well, obviously, I didn't know that at the time. I know that now with all the education that I have now. I know that now. All right? So if you really want to please God, and you want to receive gifts and spiritual powers, forbidden powers, there's animals that look at me and they fear me. They stop walking and they submit to me like if they're saying, please don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me. And you got to understand how much of an effect that has to me. I love dogs. I absolutely love dogs. I love rubbing on them. So for me now to understand that I can't, I wanted to rub that dog, but I couldn't because I sensed the fear that it had when it saw me. It did not walk until I walked by. Like, it stood there in fear until I walked by. Is this the kind of power you guys want? I'm pretty sure it is. But you have to do the work. You have to prove yourself to God. All right? It's not about going to church and being nice and beautiful to people, and then when you go home, you treat other people like shit, or you treat the drive-through person like shit because you're only going to be there for 1 minute. Nobody's going to ever know that you cursed them out. Yeah, God knows, because he was watching all of that. He was watching all of that. That's why you're not ascended. That's why you don't have spiritual gifts. That's why you're not beloved by God. That's why. Doesn't matter if you fast for 14 days straight. Oh my God, I reached through milestone. So who cares? When I fast, there's a feeling inside of my stomach. I can actually feel God working in there, doing something. That's why I say the fast is for me, not for you. This is coming from the person that can see spirits. Imagine if I did tarot cards for the community. I want to. I want to be a blessing to others. Now, that's kind of difficult for me because I happen to be an introvert. God did an amazing job choosing a Scorpio to be the chosen one. So, it takes a little bit more effort on my part to do these things. But I have to let the world know. I have to tell the world how to really become like this. I believe that everybody's powerful. I believe everybody is powerful. But nobody wants to ascend. You just wanna listen to my story and be like, oh my God, that's me. That is so me. No, that is not you. That is not you. You got these women that look absolutely amazing on here. Some of them are so fine, and they're just on here like, yeah, I know I'm an empress. It's like, lady, you are the farthest thing away from the empress. You literally are the farthest thing away from that energy. Literally. So, I just find it hilarious. So, I just want people to know that if you want to achieve this level, you can. But you got to do the work. And you have to let go of all these things that you think you know. You have to let go. God is within you. He's not in the Bible. He's not on TV. He's not in the damn church. He's definitely not in there. He is within you. He's always been there. But he's not going to unlock shit unless you prove to him that you're worthy of that. Straight up. Everybody wants to be close to God. Everybody wants to be close to God. And now that I hear these Bible verses, and don't get me wrong, they're beautiful. I love the Bible. But it took for me to read it and learn it and have other people talk about it after the fact that I gained these powers. After. And then I understood. I said, oh, hey, wait a minute. I'm like this person in the Bible. That's how I am. That's how I treat people. That's how I do this. No wonder I achieved this level. Because I was sitting here doing all these things, going by this moral code, without even knowing that I had to do it. God isn't stupid, man. He's a very smart guy, or a smart thing, or whatever you want to say about that. But, well, smart thing, because he says he's not a man, so you know how that works. I'm not gonna get into that. but yeah. So you just got to realize that it's all about your heart, and it's not about anything else. It's not about anything else.